What it do? It's your boy Drew Blue here. I'm just basically doing a artist review for Dolla Chapter 8. You know how it is. Kind of give you really my final thoughts on Dolla as an artist overall and what I think about his music and how he has progressed from when he first blew up with, of course, that Paranoid single to where he's at right now, where he just dropped featuring Dolla not less than, I want to say, a couple months ago, man. Say a month or two. But either way, so with Dolla I'm like, you know what you're gonna get when you play his music. You're either gonna get turned up, get lit, or you're gonna get that chill vibe where you just relaxing like you at a beach house or something. You know what I mean? So like, to me, Dolla in my mindset really shows the exotic, and I'd say really also laid back type of vibes from LA. He kind of does represent LA in his own right. I like it. So to me, yeah, he can get pretty urban when he wants to, but at the same time, he could be wide open, you know, and tap in certain genres here and there. He's really got an interesting taste. In fact, when he first kind of started doing his shit, you know, with Beach House 1, which is where I first started the episode, you know what I mean? Like, that shit was impressive. Like, he was definitely hitting different genres here. R&B on one track, a lot of EDM, dubstep tracks here and there where he's just singing or he's just flowing and having fun. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he was just all about just having a good time. And that's what his music is about. But at the same time, I think he and his Drugs production crew is just phenomenal. And to me, he's also, at the same time, just another casualty of, you know, the industry jail sentencing of limiting your creativity and what you want to do with your music. That just saying, I'm like, when you go from really having such a dope vibe to where now it's like you kind of have to kind of rely on trends to kind of like keep your boat floating, if you know what I mean. That's just personally how I feel, you know. Like, dude, definitely, like a lot of his peers who was coming up, if not at the same time, but were definitely in their peak during the 2010s, just with the creativity, just with kind of representing who they are, their own individualism, you know. It all kind of just started crashing down, you know, one artist after another. And yeah, that's just personally what I think, man, because there's no doubt about it. When he's on his A game, he's got the people that he likes working with in the studio with him, and of course he and his production Drugs crew are there doing what they gotta do. Man, they can make joints like this, dog. Oh, she better. Oh, she better. You know what I mean? So it's just phenomenal, man. But yeah, as you notice, I got the purple and yellow color coming in here. Gotta represent LA. But either way, I just want to paint the picture on Ty as an artist. From his perspective and point of view, I like how he does his songs. They can be very simple, very blunt, straight to the point, but at the same time, if he wants to, he can be very subtle. You know, songs, the first song that pops in my mind when I think about that is like Message in the Bottle, where it's just, you see everything through his vision. He's basically detailing you what he's going through in the course of life and actions he's doing. Like, that to me was dope and impressive. You know what I mean? But at the same time, he can also be open-minded and talk on certain topics. He's not afraid of doing that. He's done that on Campaign. He's done that, you know, whenever he felt like was the moment to speak about it. On Free TC, when he's talking about how his brother was wrongfully incarcerated for a crime that he didn't commit. So, like, Ty is definitely down to earth, very, you know, close to heart when it comes to, you know, expressing himself and his music. If you don't like it, then oh well, he's gonna give you the middle finger and move on with his day. That's just how he goes, man. I like that approach, you know what I mean? Like, to me, like I said, just nowadays with how everyone is, it's like they're all kind of like a shell of their former selves, or like I don't want to say timid, but they're not as forefront with putting their true, creativity and quality music out there. And for the most part, put that on the industry for trying to force and shape them into what they want from them, kind of like their demands. I guess it's part of the contract obligations. Fuck it. But either way, though, at the same time too, like the artists do allow this to happen to them, and it kind of sucks because then you never know. They could wave that idea where, oh, you make this songs about this and that, so what's the point? Just be what everyone else is doing. Help us make money, kind of thing. It's stupid. But yeah, everyone's starting to really see the cracks of the industry now, if you haven't seen it before. But like at least back then it was very subtle and you couldn't really tell what the industry was kind of doing to the artists compared to now, where it's just social media is putting it out there for everyone to see. But nonetheless, like I just think from a standpoint of being yourself and being creative, I think for sure Ty, like of some other guys that are coming to mind, I think if they were given the opportunity to pretty much wrap up and finish their contract and are able to take that next step, which I think will be the next evolution for a lot of these music artists, go independent, rely on really a core strong team to handle each department, publishing, marketing, whatever, and then you just focus on your music and do what you want to do. I think we're really gonna get the best out of all these guys. Like I feel like we'll get the same Ty Dolla Sign that was on Sign Language, that was on Beach House, Free TC, Beach House EP, which was the first project I ever heard by him. You know what I mean? But it's just like I said, they just got to get back into that groove where they can make that music again. Because here's the thing with Ty Dolla Sign as a singer, dog, he's phenomenal. He can flow if you want to, but he can also be harmonic. I mean, and not to mention his signature violin runs, man. I mean, he's got two guys that be doing that for him all the time, and they kill it. Right now, I can't pull the name off the top of the head. It's been a minute, but what can I tell you? These cats that Ty be having in the studio helping him, create the music, are just top notch, man. They really know what they're doing, and to me, you give Ty Dolla Sign the authority to really do what he wants and don't limit him and allow him to really do what he wants to do and go beyond that. I mean, I think we're gonna get some stuff that are even better than what we ever heard from him. To me, I felt like I got some parts of that on certain songs from the album where he was really allowed to kind of flex his own self. Like Tyrone 2021, hands down, is my favorite song from featuring Ty Dolla Sign. I gave you a mixed review on that. I most definitely reflected on the negative side a lot more than I did on the positive, but trust me, there was a lot of good stuff I liked from that album. You know what I mean? Even that song he did with Post Malone wasn't too bad, because at the end of the day, it just hit. Like, it was catchy. I like it. It was definitely a dope song right there. But to me, where he got deep, man, Tyrone 2021, I like track number 6. But once again, when you hear Dolla Sign, Dolla Sign, Dolla Sign, it's funny, man. To me, the best productions that he be hopping on are the ones that he be making. And you hear his tag. Track 6 right there was right off the bat. Even going campaign. My favorite song. Anytime my favorite song is that has his name on it as the main feature artist, it's gonna be more than likely produced by him and his drugs crew. It just shows. And I feel like the industry is limiting his crew from really putting out as much music and creativity as they want to do it. I just think that's the case. There's no other reason why. A dude as free-willed, carefree as Ty Dolla Sign, there's no way. You're not gonna stop him from being naturally him. You can't tell me that he's catering to your sound or he's being himself right now. It's the same argument I made about Tory and all that, but I think Tory's in a different scenario than Ty. But like, I could definitely put other guys that are kind of in a similar situation as Ty, where like they got no choice but to kind of go and follow their contract obligations. I wholeheartedly believe that, man. Like, enough with this rant shit, man. But like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I would love to see a lot of these cats go independent, like Ty, Bryson, Trey Songz, August Alsina, just to name some folks, man, where they're not tied up to a sub child company to the main parent monsters like RCA, Sony, Interscope, whatever you want to name, all those big guys, Atlantic, that's really taken away the freedoms of, these artists. God forbid, what would have happened to Nipsey if he was still alive? Would they have tried to press more on him, even though he had things on his own term? You never know with what they trying to do. They could always put a loophole where they could flip that shit back on you. They really like to take advantage of a lot of goodwill artists out here just trying to make good music. And guess what? They're going to promote the shitty ones that can't even make music, but they're going to just do whatever is what popping or trendy, and that's what they're gonna push. All these little whatever this, little that, who don't even have the audacity to put out competent sounding music. Shit that really is gonna be like dumbfounding when we go forward in time, like 5-10 years from now. We're gonna look back and be like, I can't believe this is the type of music we was promoting. That's where we're gonna be at. It's just crazy, you know what I mean? So like, I think Ty Dolla $ign is one of many artists who could change that if they could find a way to get out of the situation that they're in right now. And instead of just going with the flow, you know what I mean? Believe that you're stronger than that and you can go against it and be able to swim up, and be able to get to the peak where you was at in the first place and go and find a new milestone to chase after, you know what I mean? Find a new peak to go after. So that's what I think, because it's funny. It's like as soon as all these amazing, creative and wonderful artists get up top, here comes like this avalanche or this waterfalls of just like corporate madness just trying to bring them downhill. And it's like they got to find a way to fight off of that, jump off of that shit. You got to survive, I get it, but you got to also survive, if you know what I mean, like for your own soul and for your own sake, for the long-term run, you know what I mean? Don't follow the short-term plan. The short-term plan never really goes well. You got to always plan things long-term. That goes for really a lot of things in life. But I also think when it comes to your soul and with the music that you love, you want to make, don't you want to make the same shit that you've enjoyed making for like as long as you live, compared to really just going with what they're trying to direct you to go every few years or so? It's like, come on, man. I don't know. I get that sometimes artists want to go with their own taste as well. Be like, oh, I kind of like this, implement it, and then they make something different and new. Definitely on featuring Ty Dolla $ign, I got that vibe. When DJ Mustard did that same shit, except he did it so subtle that you would think that you're still listening to a DJ Mustard track, but it felt different in a sense that it was kind of like, okay, I see where you're going with this. Like, it's like almost like as if, like it was invisible. So, you know what I mean? Like, you gotta be clever with that shit. I like how a few of these producers did that shit on that album. And I like how some producers are still trying to stick true to who they are, and they're not trying to change because of what the industry is forcing out there. So, that's just personally how I feel, man. I gotta end it with this song, dog. But yeah, man, it's just, to me, when Ty's really himself and he just makes songs where he's just carefree and able to do whatever he wants, and it puts you in a vibe where you just feel that, dog. You could just feel that positive energy coming out of him, like how I'm feeling it right here on this song. And it's just clean, you know what I mean? That's all I gotta say. That's what I'm talking about. That's that West Coast flaunting. Look, I really believe that Ty Dolla $ign is the poster boy for the LA vibes. You know what I mean? When it comes to the music, there's other artists that I think represents LA pretty well. I'm gonna drop Johnny Rain for one. Obviously, DJ Mustard, YG, they represent the urban side heavy. Nipsey Hussle, still, in my opinion, king of LA. You can't tell me otherwise, hands down. But like, you know what I mean? And of course, you can go back all the way to them days of Dr. Dre, NWA, Snoop Dogg representing Long Beach. You know what I mean? Nate Dogg, 213. Exactly what I'm trying to get at, man. Like, you can understand that the history will always be respected before us, but understand that going forward, the future is supposed to be what brings us more joy. Right now, the present is bleak because the future doesn't seem to be shining right now. But that's what I'm saying. That's where we all got to take a stand. We all got to change that right now. What we doing, what our choices do, like does reflect what will happen in the future. So if we make the decisions that we need to make right now to make things right, it will reflect bigger going down the road. And that's what I think is most important for all of us, man. And I think with Dolla, that's the biggest thing he can do for himself. Straight up, you a real motherfucking G. You ain't gotta do much other than just be you and continue to be you going forward. Teach these young kids that don't let nobody influence you to do anything that's out of your stepping stone unless you choose to do that voluntary. But even then, you're not gonna go completely out of the the comfort zone to make yourself feel, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? Just out of place, you know what I mean? Like, if you want to try something new, be all for it, but also don't kind of like sell your soul or lose yourself out of who you is, because once you do that, that's when it's difficult to retrain your old, really just to retrain yourself again. Look no further than Tory Lanez. All right, I'm gonna put that out there. But nonetheless, when Ty's himself, he's still clean, man, and I still think he is. It's just he has to kind of like tone it down, because unlike the man I just mentioned earlier, he's not free, he's not independent. So yeah, it's gonna take a while, but I think, like I said, when he gets there, just be in tune, man. Those beach house vibes are second to none. I'll see y'all in the next episode series when I cover the man from Beantown, who honestly is still the most underrated artist in the game today. And as I speak of that, let me put on some green for Boston's very own G.O.D. That's the next artist I'm covering in the next series. I'll see y'all there. Deuces.